So the three things I love about skillet roasted lemon chicken are, first, it is so easy to make. I love it. The second one is that when you cook the chicken, it actually makes its own sauce with lemon and onions. It's delicious. And the third one is that you don't even need to serve it on a platter. I just take the entire skillet and put it on the buffet, and everybody helps themselves. So let's go make some skillet roasted lemon chicken. The first thing I'm gonna do is make an herb oil, which I'm gonna brush on the chicken. And it's thyme, fennel. It's gonna make it delicious. I don't know why, but in every book, there's one recipe that everybody seems to make. In Cook Like a Pro, it was red wine braised short ribs. And in Cooking for Jeffrey, it was the skillet roasted lemon chicken. Every time somebody stopped me after that book came out, they said, you know what I made? Skillet roasted lemon chicken. I was like, oh, really? Me too. Okay, so I need 2 teaspoons of fresh thyme leaves. I'm gonna grind it up in a little food processor, so you don't even need to chop it. 1 and 2. I think fresh thyme for this is so important. And then 1 teaspoon of fennel seeds. These are whole fennel seeds. 1 tablespoon of salt. I want it to be really well seasoned. And 1 teaspoon of coarsely ground pepper. I love this little pepper mill. Yes, I do measure everything, even my own recipes. Okay, I'm just gonna grind all this up. And when you grind it up, the oil from the fennel seeds really flavors it. Okay, that's the seasoning mixed. So the next is 1/3 cup of olive oil. And the seasoning mix. Just stir it together. Okay, so that's the herb oil that's gonna flavor the chicken. Okay, next I've got this huge cast iron skillet, and it's perfect for roasting this chicken. So I've got 1 onion, thinly sliced, just distributed it so it's even. I love these flavors, they're my favorite. Onions, garlic, lemon, thyme, fennel. Then 2 cloves of garlic that I've thinly sliced. I'm just gonna distribute them around. And 1 lemon. I sliced it in half and then sliced it thinly, so they're like in half rounds. And what's amazing about this, when the chicken cooks on top of it, the juices and the white wine that I'm gonna put in and the onions, they all cook together, and you can eat the whole lemon, rind and all. It's so good. Okay, that's the bottom of it. Next is the chicken. So what I did was I asked the butcher to butterfly chicken, which means you take out the backbone and kind of lay it flat. And that way it's very even and it cooks really quickly. So I'm gonna take some paper towels and just pat dry the skin. If the skin is dry, and then I'm gonna put the herb olive oil on, it gets nice and brown. Just what you want the chicken to do. I buy my chicken from a local chicken farm called Iacona. Everybody loved Mr. Iacona. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us, but his wife Eileen is. He used to have a goose named Shadow who would follow him around. I guess the goose loved him too. They'd go from the house to the store and back to the house together. Okay, so I'm gonna put this upside down, skin side down, on the onions and the lemon and garlic, and brush half the oil right on the chicken. It's gonna flavor it incredibly well. This is a great dish for entertaining because you can really assemble it in advance. I mean, never mind, it's so fast to make. And put the whole thing in the refrigerator and then just throw it in the oven before dinner. I've done it many times. When I'm really in a hurry and I don't have much time to make dinner for friends, skillet lemon chicken is on the menu. Okay, I'm just gonna turn this over. Make sure all the lemons and onions are in the bottom of the pan. And then put the rest of the herb olive oil on top so the skin gets nice and brown and the chicken's beautifully flavored. Actually, I like to serve this with roasted broccolini and couscous, both of which take no time at all to make. And the sauce from the chicken and all of that together is just fantastic. Okay, that's ready. I'm just gonna put it in the oven, 450 degrees for 45 minutes. It's a hot oven, but it cooks fast. And then about 30 minutes in, I'm gonna take some white wine and just put it around it, and it's gonna make the most delicious sauce. Okay, into the oven. Oh, that's a big baby. So when the 30 minutes is up, I'll pour a half a cup of white wine around the chicken, not on it, otherwise the skin won't brown, and cook it for another 15 minutes. And in the meantime, I'm heading out to the herb garden. So while the chicken cooks, let's take a tour of the garden. It's such a beautiful day. So this is where I work, and that's where I live. Big commute. I have to get myself from there to here every morning. It's great. And actually I have a fire pit in the middle, which is great on a cool night. In the beginning, we made so many s'mores, it was ridiculous. And then we finally thought, I don't need to eat another s'more. So let's come around here. And then there's this little porch that we call like sunset cocktail porch. The sun comes through the trees here, and we have cocktails at sunset, which is really nice. And then my little herb garden. I love this garden. So first I have figs, and I actually have some figs, which is amazing. You can see them right here. And I use the leaves for cheese platters and decorating. They're great. So I've got sage and oregano, lavender. I love the lavender. Oh, the sounds of East Hampton. Private jets coming in. Oh, the country. Let's see. Let's go this way. And I've got big tomatoes in the corners, more sage, more lavender. These are great. I love these little tomatoes. They're called green zebra, and they're actually ripe when they're green. So let me find a nice ripe one right there. And they look fantastic on a salad plate. Big sliced salads. Oh, we have the sprinkler going off. Okay, let's go into the shade garden. So this is all big crepe myrtles, and they give shade to the ground. So we have ferns and hostas and astilbe, all kinds of shade plants. And I love these white hostas. They're called standard. They're really beautiful. Only white flowers allowed here. And my little splashing fountain garden. I like the sound of the splashing because it's just sort of like nice country sound. And the biggest rosemary plant ever. This actually wintered over from last year because it wasn't so cold. And I need fresh rosemary for the chicken. Lots of it. Okay, into the house of the chicken. Come with me. It's nice and cool in here. I smell chicken. It smells so good. Okay, let's see how it's doing. So, oh, this is fantastic. Look how good this looks. So it's chicken and sauce. Slam. So I'm going to add a few things just to give it more flavor at the end. You know, as I've developed as a cook, one of the things I've learned is the thing that you add at the end that you taste first. So I always try and find something that's in the dish, and then that flavor of the lemon is going to be like the first thing that hits your tongue when you taste it. As it rests, it really just absorbs the flavor. Seeds and all. Don't worry about the seeds. People will know it's real lemon. Okay, so the juice of one lemon. And just to give this a little more flavor, and I have lots of rosemary outside, I thought I'd add just a little bit of rosemary. So it's got thyme, and it's got fennel, garlic, onion, just a little bit of rosemary, just to give it extra flavor. Okay, I'm just gonna give it a rough chop. Rosemary is really strong, so you don't want too much. Just enough to give it another layer of flavor. This is the kind of chicken that even if you're a first-time cook, you can make. And if you're an experienced cook, you'd be happy to make. Okay, just a little sprinkling of rosemary on the top. This is gonna be great. Okay, now I'm gonna let it rest. 15 minutes, and all the flavors kind of get back into the chicken, all the juices, and it's just so much moisture and more delicious. Can't wait. Time to carve the chicken. It smells great. I wish you could smell it. And the best part of this chicken is you don't have to carve it the way you usually carve a chicken. All I do is cut it in quarters. And that's one of the best things about butterflying it. It's like really easy to cut in quarters. This is amazing. I love the way it looks. It's the perfectly browned chicken and all that gorgeous sauce underneath. And you can put it on a platter, but I like the rustic kind of feeling of just serving it right out of the pan. Everybody can just help themselves. I'm just gonna spoon the sauce right over the chicken so everybody gets chicken and sauce all together. And this is the amazing thing about this dish, is you actually get cooked lemon. It's really tender and it caramelizes with the onions. Look at that sauce, isn't that great? I actually like the sauce as much as the chicken. That is so good. This might actually be my favorite chicken of all times. Yum. This recipe and more can be found in my book, Cooking for Jeffrey, or at barefootcontessa.com.